how many of you have tried to start a project and just ended up getting really overwhelmed with what to do because you found it really hard to visualize the overall bird's eye picture and work out actually what you had to do every day? And that's exactly the stage I'm stuck at the moment. And I've come up with a new idea that I thought I would share with you guys, because I have tried everything. A big wall planner, I've tried planners with set calendars in it, and I just find either looking at the wall chart, the writing's just too small for me to actually engage with it. And it's the same with the planners when I'm trying to look at the overall picture. If something's on a different page, I find it really hard just to get that overall view. And so what I really need is to be able to see from point now all the way up to the end of the project. I really need to be able to see everything all at once. And if you're a very visual person like that, where if it's out of sight it's out of mind, then I'm hoping that what I'm going to show you today is really going to help that. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to use first. I've got this really nice blue notebook. It's A4 size, it's really thin, flexible. I love stuff like this. So this is like my project planner just for this project, and inside it's got just some like nice cream paper with lines on it. So I need to plan for 2 months, so June and July for starters anyway. So I'm going to do a June plan and a July plan. So yeah, check it out. I'm going to draw out 1 month here. This is going to be June. So I've basically taken the whole page and I've measured along the top to see how many centimetres it is from here to here and divided that by 7. So on this page of A4, it's working out that each block, which is going to be each day, is going to be 4 centimetres wide. And so I've just marked them out at the top there. And the same on the way down, on the vertical side, I've just measured the length of that and then worked out, divided by 5, how many marks I need to put in there for each box. So I've got this as 3.5 centimetres here. And what I'm actually going to do is on the top of this is a measure another either 1 or 1/2 centimetre. I'm probably going to make it 1/2 centimetre actually, and just do a dot here and dot here. And I'm going to draw an extra line along the top, and that's just so I can put in the days of the month. The days of the month. Yeah, so we can put that right away along the top here. And then all that is left to do once I've done that is just fill in all the rest of the group lines.
At 29 and I find myself wondering, what did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind.
So you will have seen what I've done is drawn out all the grid lines. So I've basically got a whole month. Well, this will fit the whole month of June in. I've gone along the top. I like to start my weeks on a Monday. So I've put all the days of the week along the top. And I've also written the month here. And you'll see I've just put a little bit of washi tape around the sides. Now, this is one of the things, I don't want to spend loads of time doing all this because I want to actually get on with the project. I only had thin washi tape, unfortunately, but I've just put it along the edge of the paper and folded it over. And I just feel like when you come to, open your book and you just feel this kind of part of your calendar or part of your notebook when you're opening it, it just makes it easy to find, and it gives you something a little bit tactile as well. So it feels really nice. I could go along the top and decorate a bit more with washi tape, but I might do that later. So when I was doing this, I was just thinking, because my initial plan was to do June at the top and then do July at the bottom so I could see the whole calendar. Should I have June here and then my lists of tasks and all the different segments of the project down here so that I can then match up tasks with the month and have the deadlines, and then in my planner I can basically take what I need each day and write my week of tasks. I haven't quite decided yet what to do, so I'm going to have a little think about that. I think it's really helpful to see your month and your list of tasks at the same time, but I also think it's really helpful to see month and month at the same time. So let me have a think about that.
Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too
So you'll see that the lighting's a little bit different. It's a bit later in the evening. I had to go and do some things, but I just want to show you what I've done so far. I've started to kind of put it together. I've put the days of the month here, and then I've separated off my weekend. I just find that really helpful, just to be able to see the working week and the weekend so I can see what I'm dealing with. I've also put a score across the days of the month that are redundant for this calendar. And then as the days go on, I'm just Xing off each day as well, just so I can keep track of where we are along this. Again, it's all just to try and help the visual side of things when we're approaching this. You will see I've started to put in some of the key dates. So I need to get my Kickstarter all finished and wrapped up and ready to submit by the 22nd of June. So I know that's a big goal with a time sensitive deadline that I really need to work towards. And in this time beforehand, I need to make sure that all the tasks that are needed to complete that mini project within the project is all done. So that's going to take a few steps to get there. I did decide actually to not put the whole of July in here, and that's because my launch day is actually on the 1st of July. So I thought the easiest way for me to be able to contain everything that I need to think about up until this launch day is to just put the next 2 days following on from this calendar, so I can see the launch day, so I can actually see the whole calendar up until that day. But what I will do is obviously I will have post-launch project to do in terms of following up, putting orders out, lots of stuff to do, developing the website, all of that. So what I'll do is I'll actually take that as a whole separate project, and I'll put that into my project book here as a completely separate project. So that will be starting from the 2nd of July. So I just think this is a good way, obviously I've got this big day here and I can see everything all in one. And if you've got a big project that you're working towards and you can separate it in this way, I think it's a really good way to do it. And this really helps me. All I have to do is open up my notebook and I can see everything all here all at once. And then you'll see down at the bottom, I've started to separate everything off so that I can have my mini project within the project lists. And again, I think this is really helpful to be able to do, so you can then list out all the tasks that you need to do and if there's any deadlines and things like that. For my project, I've got my Kickstarter, which is going to be all the things I need to do to get that video ready. I've got emails, so I'm trying to build an email list, and if you want to join my list, do come to my website to sign up for the VIP list. I'm going to have all the best deals there, and you're going to be my lovely VIP founder members. So I will have emails to send out, so I've got that section there. Then I have Instagram and TikTok, which I will be have a posting schedule, as well as some YouTube videos. I will have YouTube not only for talking about all things stationery, all things productivity, all things organising, but also I will have to film some specific YouTube videos which are to go on the website and to actually talk through how to use the product and things like that. So I will have a lot of YouTube stuff to video. The product itself, I have currently a sample and there are some tweaks that I want to make with that. That probably the bulk of that will be done after. But there are just a few things that I need to see to in terms of the actual product itself. So I'm going to pop those things in there. And then Pinterest is somewhere that I'm thinking about trying to put some posts on, but it's a little bit, difficult to do all of these things, especially when you're working 4 days a week already. So thinking about, by seeing this, how I can kind of cross-pollinate things so that I'm not duplicating on work. For example, I am currently creating a lead magnet for Instagram and TikTok, which is some PDF files. And one of them is about a method that I've developed which is called the untangling method. And I will maybe try and use that PDF and develop that into a blog that I can post onto Pinterest. And obviously anything on Pinterest, I can also post that as a blog on my website. So there's a few things to think about here. So I will have to crack on and fill out all these lists so that I can then transpose them into my weekly and daily tasks. But before I move on, I just wanted to show show something else that I'm going to do. I just find using little sticky pads really, really helpful. You've got the texture of them and they obviously give you a bit of colour as well. And unfortunately, these ones that I've got are these kind of transparent ones. And I've got a few like these actually. But the only problem with them is they do smudge if you write on them, so they're not ideal. Ideally, I would have some paper ones, which unfortunately I don't have at the moment. I may purchase some in order to do this. And I've got some of these little kind of tabs here as well. So what I was thinking about doing is using these almost like as a key. So say, for example, when I've got to send an email, I may do something like this, like I may pop this on here so I know that anything in this colour when I need to send an email. And when I need to send an email, what I'll do is I'm going to write down all my list of emails here, and on my monthly calendar, I'm going to add in, for example, definitely the day before the launch, I will need to send an email. So I'm going to pop that on there so that I know that's pre-launch day email that I've got to do, and I'll just write that in there as well. And I'll write on here pre-launch email. You can see it just smudges a little bit, but once it dries it will probably be okay actually. I'm going to kind of lay everything out like that so that I can then have everything down here, and I'll put it up on my calendar, and then I'm going to take all of my tasks and distill them into what my weekly schedule is. And as always, we want to try and batch things together. The more we can batch, the better. Yeah, so let me do that. So here is my finalized project board that I've created. I'm really happy with it. I've still got a little bit of tinkering to do, a bit more detail to add, but I hope you can see how it makes such a difference. This actually didn't take me that long. It took about half an hour, and I just really think it's more visually appealing. I've put in, obviously I've got all my little mini projects within my project with the tasks down here that I do have to fill out a little bit more. I've got my colour key, and I've added in up here when things are due to happen. This is my extra 2 days that I added in here. Launch day, 1st of July. And I added in another little section here, which is actually a little bit separate from this. It's about some, what are called lead magnets. So they're basically a creation of PDFs that I've made. People can just message me and I'll send them to them for free. So I have to create them. So I've got them in here as a little bit of a separate thing. But I really, there's texture, you can touch it. If you need to swap things around, you can just peel these off and move them to a different day. So there's flexibility from that side. It's like really nice and colourful, I think. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'll probably put some washi tape around the outside of here as well. So I've got my whole project board here, but I think this is just going to help me massively in terms of my planning. And what I'll do is every week, so we've only got 4 days of this week left, but for the rest of the week I'm going to pull from this all the things that I need to do each day, and I'll have a little list separately in my planner. So what I'll do is just take my planner here, and for the week I'll just pop in my plan for each day here. And what I do is, this is actually the planner that I have produced, but I also have this small daily one as well. So I'll pull from this, I'll plan out my week, and then from my week I'll pop it into my little daily planner out of here where I've got my schedule and my tasks. And this is going to take me to plan my week. It'll take me 10 minutes. To plan each day, it'll take me 5 to 10 minutes. And remember, 1 minute of planning gives you back 10 minutes in productivity. So just taking a little bit of time to plan out each day, to look at the countdown up to the launch day, or whatever project you're working on, the countdown to that. So this is so helpful if you've got, a work project, or you've got an exam coming up and you need to timetable how you're going to study and things, and the build up for that. I've done this naturally because I've done so many exams, so I always had a timetable in order to do that. But now I just think with having the colours and realising that having everything on one board, I certainly remember when I had study notes, I had to have a big piece of card, especially for things like equations that I had to remember, and big formulae, or drawing pictures, because I studied medicine. We had to draw pictures of the kidney or, you know, the heart, things like that, and just having that all in one piece of card really helped me. So if you're the same and you just need to see everything in one place, then I really hope that this kind of layout is helpful. And you can do this in any notebook as well. I think A4 is a nice size. I love that this is thin, and you know, I can pop it in my bag, and it's just easy to open and, you know, take around with you. So yeah, I hope you liked that, and yeah, join me, come subscribe, join me for my next videos. I'm gonna have lots and lots of things like this for you, and I just really want to create a lovely community of people who love stationery mainly, but also love to make the most of their time, to be productive, to organise, to think about well-being and things as well. So lots of that to come, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye guys.